The Galaxy A54 was priced at $449 at its release, while the Pixel 7a came out swinging with a $499 price tag. So what justifies the $50 jump? I'm Kevin the Tech Ninja, and let's dive into it. The A54 is a bit of a big boy. It's a bigger phone with slimmer bezels, giving you more of that sweet screen real estate. For those who love a bigger display, the A54 will not disappoint. But it's not all about size either. The smaller bezels allows the A54 to look sleek and have a modern appearance that is quite appealing for a phone, especially at this price. But don't sleep on the 7a. You know, despite its slightly smaller form factor, there's something charming about it. It has a comfortable feel in the hand, almost like it was custom made to nestle snugly into your palm. The subtle curvature of the body, coupled with the streamlined edges, contributes to an overall ergonomic design that makes holding the 7a feel like a joy rather than a chore. I also love the camera placement on the 7a. It's just like the 7 Pro, and they're just arranged in a way where it's not intrusive. You don't touch it when holding the phone, which I think is really nice. And we'll talk about that more in the camera section later in the video. The A54 design hits back with a classy glass back that has a premium feel to it that screams Samsung luxury. And when you pick up the A54, it's immediately apparent that you're dealing with a high-end device. Now, let's take a trip down memory lane and compare these bad boys to their predecessors. The A54, true to its lineage, definitely feels like a Samsung phone through and through. From its design ethos to its user interface, there's a consistent thread of Samsung signature style woven through the device. It's comforting familiarity for those who have been with the brand for quite a while. Now, Google has really flexed their muscles with the 7a. They've added Face Unlock, 8 GB of RAM, and up to 90 Hertz smooth display and wireless charging. And the last two are a huge plus at this price point. The 7a relies on Qi certified chargers, which means you can use pretty much any wireless charger that you've purchased in the last decade, as long as it wasn't specifically made for the iPhone. Now, there's nothing like dropping your phone on a charging pad at the end of the day and not having to fumble around with cables. To be honest, my whole house is set up with wireless chargers, and I don't like plugging stuff in anymore. Another small detail, but one that improves day to day, is the 90 Hertz display. And that's a significant step up from the 60 Hertz. I mean, we're talking a 50% increase, which means everything to make the phone feel smoother. From scrolling through your social media feeds to playing fast-paced games, it's like upgrading from a regular TV to an HD TV. Once you've experienced it, it is truly hard to go back. Now, it's not all rainbows and unicorns though. While the 7a wireless charging is definitely a step up in the right direction, it's on the slower side, so don't expect your phone to juice up in a flash. Also, the higher refresh rate is a delight, but it can take a toll on battery life. The A54 carries Samsung's touch with a familiar feel and powerful internals, while the Pixel 7a takes bold strides forward with new features like wireless charging, 90 Hertz display, and also Google Assistant. But the question is, which one has made the right upgrades for you? Well, you gotta stick around for that, and we'll dive into that a little bit deeper. The 7a, in my opinion, has stepped up its game. The camera is fantastic. It has a Google Tensor G2 chip, and I gotta say, the design is growing on me. The A54, on the other hand, feels like a premium phone with its glass back, but the railings are plastic, which is sort of weird. Now, sound-wise, the A54 is a little bit of a letdown. Calls aren't super clear, and the 7a, on the other hand, fares a bit better. The speakers are okay, but they're not stellar, and they do get the job done. But here's the kicker. The A54 has an SD card slot, and for some people, that is a requirement for a phone. You have expandable storage for all of your music, podcasts, and also audiobooks. In a world where we're consuming more digital media than ever before, being able to upgrade your memory is a serious advantage for so many people. Meanwhile, the 7a solely relies on its built-in storage. While Google has great cloud solutions, there's something reassuring about having a physical card slot to beef up your storage and take it phone to phone, and obviously not paying for your cloud storage every month is a big plus. Now, in terms of hardware, the A54 has 6 GB of RAM, while the Pixel 7a has 8 GB. You might think that's overkill, but trust me, the Pixel needs it. And when it comes to media and gaming, the A54 has a better display at 120 Hz, but the Pixel isn't following too far behind with that 90 Hz. The A54 falls short in terms of camera quality though. It struggles with color reproduction, handling light, and dynamic range is kind of disappointing. But here's the thing, every time I'm out with my wife and friends, Guess who they want to take the photo? Me. But they don't want me to use my phone. They always want me to use a Pixel. And my wife has a Pixel 6a, and her cameras, when it comes to people, is the best. Pixel line has consistently outperformed others in terms of photo quality. It's like having a professional photographer in your pocket, no matter who is taking the photo. But just like pro cameras, phones need to be charged up. So let's get into the battery life on these devices. The Pixel 7a, despite having a smaller battery, manages to outperform the A54 in my real-world testing. It does have wireless charging and it's a little bit slow, but the A54 doesn't even have an option for that at all. And the A54's processor doesn't hold up too well day-to-day usage once you get past basic tasks. The 7a feels more complete, it has better battery life, and the software experience is superior, and the Google Assistant is absolutely clutch. It's the smartest assistant in the tech space. It helps with traffic, setting up meetings, and also if you're calling a number, it will go through the prompts for you, which is really helpful. And also I love that it can screen my calls. If someone's calling me and I can just have it screen it and they can let me know if it's someone that I want to talk to in the first place. When I'm not using a Pixel phone, I definitely miss those features. And that's something that no other phone can reduplicate as of yet. However, there are some downfalls when it comes to a phone at this price. This Pixel 7a, despite its charm, it does feel like a budget phone in certain aspects. The haptics could use a little work. Every time the phone vibrates, it feels like a rattle, like it doesn't feel crisp. It's not the best, and also, as I said before, the speaker just isn't great. The battery's a bit small, and getting through the day may not be possible for heavy users, but I'd say for most people buying this phone, they should be okay. And on the other hand, the A54's processor isn't the best past day-to-day usage, and the camera quality just doesn't do justice to this beautiful face. But it does a great job when it comes to landscapes or things that are not of people, since the color just isn't accurate. And when it comes to handling light, you see light streaks, and dynamic range just isn't there compared to the Pixel. For me, the Pixel 7a stands out with the real tone color science, giving you accurate skin tones and accurate colors throughout all the images. Although video may not be perfect, I still think it's good for most situations. It has a 64 megapixel main camera, 12 megapixel ultra wide, and up to 4K 60 for video. Now what's interesting is that the 7a doesn't allow you to take a 64 megapixel shot, but what it does, it bends the pixels down to give you a smaller image, but it's much more detailed and much better in low light. The A54 does have pretty good specs, 50 megapixel wide, 12 megapixel ultra wide, and 5 megapixel macro, and does 4K 30. But when looking at these images side by side, the Pixel just looks better in almost every single image. Even when it comes to video, the differences are negligible, but the Pixel's camera is the true winner, as it's always been day one. When someone asks me what phone to get, most of the time I recommend a Pixel A series. It has a great combination between software and camera. The 7a delivers on that front. You know, after testing it in the real world, I will pick up a 7a any day of the week. It does pretty good for gaming, the software experience is better than the A54, and Google Assistant is incredibly helpful, and overall communication and visual experience and software is top notch. If taking good photos is your main goal with this phone, then the Pixel is always going to be the best choice. If you want to know more about the A54, click on the video right here.